Hi. Alright. Hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to SeaGoat Secrets. Hi, I'm Kristen, and I'm the healer. In this video, you're going to get a full rundown of Capricorn energy pertaining to healing, and to pretty much give you the preliminaries of what you need in order to enter the new age with as little residual baggage as possible. If at any point you feel like you have a connection with me and you would like to dive deeper in your own energy, you can become a client with me. Join the client circle here and also in the bio. And lastly, as you guys know, I am a global citizen and I love to connect with all of you on a worldly and global level. I am back in the comments. So let me know where you're listening from and let us connect. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this. Okay, so hi, Capricorn. This video in specific, obviously you can watch it anytime in our timeline. It is timeless. But I'm making it right now in this moment in specific to the karmic cycle of what we are going through right now, which is ending the Capricorn Pluto karma and entering into the Aquarius Pluto karma. The Aquarian age as well is being pioneered by the Aquarius Pluto, and all of these things bring forth a very big transition in our society at large, and also the way that people will see you as a Capricorn. Capricorn energy is going to take on a whole new identity during the age of Aquarius in general, and it'll start to see it, and we will very quickly actually. That transition is already kind of starting to happen with how Capricorn is viewed amongst the collective, with the way even various readers are viewing Capricorn energy. It's taken on a whole new light, and this will continue all throughout the Aquarius Pluto transit into making Capricorn a new identity, a truer identity in terms of how people see you and how you see yourself after that transit takes place. Now, with that being said, it is important for you to move into the new age clear, clean, and under control, like in a commercial. So I wanted to prioritize healing and how to look at your healing process as Capricorn placements so that you can navigate properly, basically, because this year is the last year we're going to see Capricorn Pluto, and it's going to pop up again at the end of the year in October. And before that happens and after that happens, as we're in the beginning of Aqua Pluto, you're going to be going through a lot of ins and outs of the old energies. So it's not taking a toll on you like the way it used to. Things are getting a lot lighter, especially right now in this moment after the second week. Right now we're in the month of March, and after the second week of March, we're moving into Aries season. I should probably slow down. So as we're going into Aries season, the energy is getting lighter. Nonetheless, this Pluto transit is a light energy for you in specific. So you're going to be feeling that lightness all throughout the year of 2024. However, the biggest thing to keep in mind is it's closing out the chapters of the past. So the past will still be on your mind. Many of you still have to clean up things from the past. Could be old relationships, paperwork, dynamics, ending divorces, different things like that coming to a close this year, deleting old accounts, deleting old numbers, blocking those people, cleaning out your social circles. You're going through a huge death rebirth process, and it ends this year. And you were doing that last year, things being forced out, and now you are in the driver's seat in terms of what stays and what goes. And you are feeling more comfortable in that space. Next week, in the timeline that we're in right now, is the Libra eclipse. And with the Libra full moon eclipse, big endings again. For those of you who might be holding on that need to let go, it will be taken out of your hands. And for most of you, like I said, you're wielding that sword yourself and bringing forth those closes for your own peace of mind. So with that kind of being the background of where we are in this current timeline, let's get into the more general perspective that will apply to anyone watching this at any time in the future. Navigating healing and how Capricorn heals. Capricorn heals when it embraces the side of its emotions that it's the most uncomfortable with. So a part of the reason why you guys separate from your emotional body is because it becomes overwhelming. And at a very young age, you learn that your emotions can overwhelm you. You learned yourself to be quite sensitive. And the people around you noticed your sensitivities, and they probably ridiculed you for them, put you down for them, pushed you aside for them. There was always a soft, very soft core, and also a very soft external to you as well. All of you guys kind of come into the world like that. More the masculines than the feminines. You feminines, you guys have a softness, but you can look a little bit more hard than you actually are, especially in your youth, and then it softens up on the external as you age. Versus you Capricorn masculines, you can kind of always have this softness about you. And so with that being the case, you've had to learn the journey of how to separate from your emotional body in order to thrive within the world. This fishtail that you have makes you very vulnerable. In the beginning of your life, you are quite, you're like a Cancer. You are quite vulnerable, almost like a helpless little sea creature that has been thrust upon land. And you are, let me make sure that we've got it. Hold on. We're good. All right, so almost like a little delicate alien sea creature that has been thrust upon land and is very strange and uncomfortable and different than its lineage. You guys are always very, very different than what you're born into, the people around you, your situation, and you can be rejected for that. Like I always say, you guys are very similar to Aqua in that your difference in your uniqueness is organic to you, but the difference being on the other side of Saturn, but the difference is you guys tend to be rejected for that or tossed aside for the things that make you very unique. And your uniqueness is not tied to your ego, it's just who you are. And that's why many of you make the mistake of trying to adapt so much to the world that you don't quite understand. Because you don't really understand the world, especially in your youth. There's always something about you that is kind of either innocent or just not getting it, not blending in or fitting in. Again, so different, so awkward, so like the unusual Saturn, you know, the gaseous planet that's full of a trillion rings and a bunch of moons and a cube sitting on the side of it. There is nothing like Saturn. And you come into this world with this intensity wrapped around you, and you're always different than your environment because you're meant to start from the bottom and climb to the top. So with that being said, it's like I always have this vision of you guys being, because they say Aqua is etheric. Well, Capricorn and Aqua are both ethereal. All the 4 exalted signs are ethereal, which is Sagittarius to Pisces. But where Aqua can be out of the world, you are from the bottom of the world. So if you've ever been at the bottom of the ocean and you see these strange creatures, that's how I imagine Capricorn. And so and that's that Saturnian energy. So you're like this strange creature that has put itself on land. You're of the earth. You're not like Aqua, you're of the earth, but you're from the base of the ocean, right? And then you come here, you're delicate, you do not adapt, you do not necessarily fit in. A lot of pressure and responsibility is thrust upon you. People in your family pay a lot of attention to you. Your environment focuses on you more than it does others. You gain a lot of attention without trying. It can be negative attention as well. It seems like people, especially for your Capricorn moons, it seems like all eyes are on you, whether you want them to be or not. There's a heaviness and there's an intensity that comes with your energy. And that's just the way that it is. You don't always identify or even understand that it's your uniqueness that puts all this pressure on you. And you're on the other side of what it means to be unique. You're on the side of it being a detriment, of it being something that is a wound. And that's why you guys go out and you go into the world, like the old tale of, the Capricorn children were of Poseidon, and then he gave them the ability to be on both earth and land, and both earth and water, and then they just get so addicted to going on earth that they lost their tail, different things like that. You guys really want to adapt to the world. You want to be of the world. but you're always not really of it. There's always something about you that's uncomfortable or different, and you tend to put yourself in situations that are not for you, more on the shallow side, or you find yourself around a lot of fire signs because you have the same intensity and willpower that they do, and you desire to understand the world and the way that they do, but they are a very different element than yours. You are very, you know, different. Ever seen a seagull? Imagine looking at one and realize how strange that creature would be. Yeah, and so you navigate this dynamic the way that you do, and then eventually you disconnect from your emotional body in order to adapt to the world because you want to be in the world. You become addicted to your ambition. You become addicted to trying to achieve a status in the world. The more trauma you experienced in your childhood, or the pressure that was put upon you from the people around you, beating you up because of the ways in which you were different, especially for you masculines, constantly having people around you, particularly could be your mother as well, pressurizing, or your paternal energy, your father, pressurizing your masculine energy, making it feel like there's something about you that is too uncomfortable, too strange. Same thing goes for you feminines, picked apart, picked apart, picked apart. So you get to this space where you want to really thrive in the world at 10th house, be this big figure, be this leader figure that makes everyone see you. A lot of the time, the misconception of Capricorn is that it's just focused on its goals, but a lot of the time the goal for Capricorn is to be a member of the world. So yeah, so because you want to be like that, because Capricorn desires to be another star in the sky, the person that a lot of people are looking at, this authoritative figure, they will sacrifice themselves for popularity's sake. This is when it's very cringy when you see a Capricorn try really hard to be trendy, or kind of so caught up in what other people are doing, or like trying to do the best of the popular thing, or kind of lose their soul in the process of trying to be great at something that everyone else is doing, so much so that they become so focused on the work of it that it completely loses its substance. And this is the Capricorn that we see in Stereotypes, because this is Capricorn and it's rooted in its wounded ego. The wounded ego body is what we see in these stereotypical Capricorn BS things that we see online, you know, oh, cold and heartless and workaholic, you know, and that is the wounded Cap. The healed Cap is someone who steps away from this energy, begins, and this is a part of what you guys went through the Pluto transit. You were broken down in every way possible, especially you guys that were holding on to lifestyles that were shallow, or that were not serving, love dynamics that were on the surface, that did not you were trying too hard to create a true love out of someone that was not your true love. For those of you who were working jobs that did not actually serve you, working careers that weren't very real, you had to be broken down to your seams in order to get your soul back. Because everyone knows, well, not everyone, but you guys know here at SeaGoat Secrets, the depths of the Capricorn soul and emotional body is so deep. And in order to awaken that, in order to be within that, especially you guys being so deeply spiritual, because of the way you represent the 10th house, you are constantly going through the journey of hell to heaven. That is your life. Your life is about deep transformation from the bottom to the top. They call it climbing the mountain in terms of the stereotypes, but it's because it is the spiritual transformation of constantly starting in hell to reach heaven, and the breakdown of the spirit to die over and over again. That's Capricorn energy. That's why you guys have it hard, right? That's why you have it difficult. But this is also what makes you such great healers. And it starts when you heal yourself. And this is when you begin to embrace the transition, the constant change that your life goes through, especially for you guys that have Capricorn, along with Scorpio or 8th house placements, where you're constantly being broken down and brought back up, the deep transformation that you're always going through. When you surrender and you embrace what it means to be this like lone figure who's always going through the process of death and rebirth, the figure whose ego has been broken down in order to surrender to that experience, the navigator of both dark and light, and most importantly, the SeaGoat who's fully embracing their emotional body and their spiritual body as it is. And usually, like I said, this starts with the external breakdown of the things that you built up. And the thing about your emotions, when you embrace your emotions, you begin to heal better through your work. And a part of the reason my work is attributed to Capricorn is because all throughout the different creatures that Capricorn has been throughout the thousands of years, Capricorn has not always been the seagoat. This is over the past 2,000 years or so, because of what was going on in history. In ancient Sumeria, you guys were a sea creature that became human during the day. In other different stories, you were just a sea creature. In other words, it's so many different things. But your journey is all about serving. So similar again to the misconceptions that people have about Capricorn energy, where they think of Virgo as the server and Pisces as the compassionate, Aqua as the one who is big on humanitarianism, and Capricorn just being about their goals and their money. A very big misconception. You are the natural healer who does what it is that you do by going down in order to bring things up. That's why you're so great at business, because in order to be good at business, you have to identify a problem. And when you identify a problem, you bring forth an amazing solution. And in order to identify the problem, you have to go into where? The dark. You have to dive into the depths of hell in order to bring out what it is that the world needs, in order to bring out the solution. And you're the only one willing to dive that deep in order to come back out. That's why I feel like the way that you guys were depicted when you were the sea creature that came on land, I feel like, and became human, the server, I thought that that was probably the best depiction of Capricorn energy in its truest spiritual form. But at the end of the day, the sea goat is also a great one as well, because the goat is the creature of wisdom. And it's navigating the ocean in that sense, navigating the waters, and it can go in both places. So when we embrace this energy in terms of our depth in our emotional body and the spiritual body, the ways in which you heal yourself become the way in which you heal others. So when you go into healing, for you, it is diving into the dark, facing your shadow, embracing the dark nights of the soul. You tend to be loners, especially the more in tune you are with yourself. When Capricorn is too focused on trying to be too social, it's because you're usually disconnected from yourself. Organically, when you are in tune with yourself, it's not that you can't socialize, but you really embrace those moments where you can stand in your own solitude, because you're going into the depths of your own soul. You are one of the kings of yin energy, because you are the exalted earth, and Pisces being the exalted water. So as being one of the kings of yin energy, you like that deeper space, drinking in peppermint and taking in that cool energy, not afraid of the dark. Not trying to be the perfect pillar of society, but being in both spaces. When you allow those emotions, you allow your true character to reign supreme. And you're constantly going, and this is where wisdom comes about, because part of the reason why you guys become so wise is because when you embrace the darker experiences, instead of trying to push them away, to seem perfect, to be among the masses, to dance with the fire signs, right? And to be as weightless and as fruitless as the air signs. It's like you want to be in that energy so much that you're disconnecting from your soul journey and who it is that you are. And then it can feel unfair when you're brought back up to be ripped down to the ground, brought back up to be ripped down to, but it's you having to embrace who it is that you really are and fall in love with the layers of yourself, and disconnect from anyone that does not appreciate or value that. You guys reach your highest elevation when you're in full attunement with that yin-yang merger that you are. Because they say oftentimes the goat is a symbol of a sun creature, whereas the fishtail is obviously not, right? So again, the yin-yang merger, the heaven and the hell experience is you. You sit at the 10th house of marrying both. It's a very powerful place to be. And where you have Capricorn, you have healing, because it's always where you're going to be tried and tested. It's where Saturn breaks you and devours you in order to mold you into something better. Again, this is perceived negatively and inaccurately, and like it's just about career. But the 10th house in the modern world seems like career. But outside of the modern representation of what the 10th house is, it is your way of navigating the world. It is who you are, your purpose, your sole purpose in the greater world, the greater scheme of things. If this was 10,000 years ago, you wouldn't be a corporate Wall Street tycoon Capricorn. You would more than likely, let's say, your greatest desire was to be a chief, to be the leader that can take your people from one part of the world and sail the seas to find another. The seamstress, the fisherman, whatever it may be, in order to say that you are this pillar. And most of you would have been wise men, actually, because again, that old man breakdown, having that, a lot of the stories, because of the wisdom that develops over the pain and pleasure dynamics. And so wanting to be this figure, librarians, etc., would be who it is that you were. So if you understand that about yourself from a greater perspective and you integrate it into what it means to be on Wall Street now, imagine what it is that you could do for not just yourself, but the greater world at large. Your goal is about service to the greater world at large. You are the architect, you are the builder, you are the developer. You build the land, you create the land, you are the final earth sign. Taurus is the one who plants the seeds. Virgo is the one that takes the fruit and bears it to the people. Capricorn is the one that takes all the things that Taurus and Virgo created, the land masses, the trees that grew in Virgo's season. Capricorn breaks them down, chops them up, and builds the entire village. That is Capricorn energy. And that ultimately serves the world. It is a service to the world. And then you move into Aqua, that's more a service directly to people, where you're building the entire dynamic for the people to navigate. Okay, so understand who it is that you are and why it is that you're good at business, for example, because you have to identify, you have to go into hell, identify the problem in order to bring about the solution. That is why in the modern world it shows up that way. That is why you guys make such great artists and also musicians, diving deep in order to come back out. And this is how you heal, this is how you heal yourself. Yes, the drama has been intense, especially when you're looking at the 15-year transit. You're carrying some very scary, some of you, deep levels of traumatic events. When you resist it, it'll only break you. Embrace it, dive deep. One of my biggest practices is deep in through the nose, heavy out through the mouth. Embrace the dark night of the soul. This is a part of what makes you strong, right? Capricorn is known for its strength and that intense resolve that it has, even though many of you don't want to be tied to that. You know, you're tired of resilience. But it's about redefining what resilience means to you. Strong doesn't have to mean, you know, standing on the top of a mountain as an ox, right? It's the kind of, again, wisdom, right? The kind of strength that goes deep within the body. So embrace the both sides of it. Allow the things that broke you down in order to build you up, in order to create this wisdom and this new identity that wraps itself around you. Like kind of what I was saying about what it means to go from an empath to a super empath, which has been my journey, right? It's like allow the bones to break and the muscles to tear in order to build about a stronger body that can do more with your work, because that's the point, doing more, expanding more. I'm tired of resilience, but if your purpose in this planet is to break your generational curse, because you are Capricorn, so you are the karma sign, right? If your purpose is to go bigger, is to be bigger, you don't have it as easy as other people. You can't settle the same way that other people have. And if your soul decided to come here during this transit, your soul was meant to do much more than what it is that you have seen other people around you do, especially when you've tried so hard to be of the world to make yourself lighter. You constantly surround yourself with people whose experiences are nothing like yours, so that loneliness, that isolation just gets even deeper. You need to break out of your own shell and embrace who it is that you are, the strange, unique creature that you are, instead of this, you know, trying to make yourself one-dimensional, chopping off your tail and putting yourself at the top of that mountain. It's so much deeper than that. So you heal yourself when you embrace yourself. And this is the biggest thing that we're doing as Aqua goes into, as we're navigating the Aqua waters. This is a big time for self-confidence, self-worth. And obviously I'm going to dive into the next video that's coming after this, which is building wealth during the Aquarian age. And wealth for you, this video is going to be more about money. It's more about wealth in terms of character, wealth in love, wealth in relationships, wealth on a deep soul level. The second house is wealth beyond just the pentacle. And then I'm also going to break down the pentacle and what it actually is and what it means and the substance of that energy and how it goes far beyond just the modern viewpoint of it, which is finances. But to wrap up here, this is how you heal yourself, and then you heal yourself on the grander scale. And this is why, with a lot of you guys in the client circle, why we tend to always go into your career, right? Stereotypically, but it's because when you are, it's your life purpose, your life path. As a Capricorn energy, you're meant to pursue your life purpose. And when you pursue your life purpose, that's where you find your greatest healing point. That's the way your soul energy, especially for you guys that are Capricorn risings and Capricorn suns, that is where your soul merger finds itself. That is where the completion of your healing happens. When you channel all of the things that you went through and you go through normal healing processes, and then you apply it to putting something out into the world, which can be starting a business, becoming a healer, doing something simple. It could be even, binding books or making, with some of you guys, we were talking about you becoming chefs. Things that might seem simple on the outside, but it's the way in which you channel all of that energy in order to bring forth your gift to the world, because that's what you guys do as Capricorn energy. You bring the solution to the planet because of your own experience of the heaven and hell dynamic. And that's how you complete your healing process, because it's the application of that energy. Like what I talked about in the Rage video, you need to channel your energy, and you guys are emotional channelers. You're not emotional suppressors. You're not cold. You are emotional channelers. So channel that energy, navigate that energy. You're beautiful because you do not let your emotions control you. You know how to navigate those emotions. Embrace them, put them in, and push them toward the direction that you need them to go in. And this is where you find limitless ambition, limitless ability to achievement, and to follow your life purpose and your life path. And I'm excited to get into this next video, because then it's going to lead us into the video of you guys being leaders of New Earth and understanding Capricorn energy during the Aquarius Pluto, which I've been kind of hinting at for a while, about why I keep saying that, and what the transits are that will lead to Capricorns being such big figures in New Earth. So yeah, I think that's it in terms of wrapping up this video. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are, okay? So I love you. Ciao.